Wait, it is still not gone.
No, it's saying the meeting is being live streamed.
Wait. It is setting up your YouTube, the vardu, live na vardu. Okay, done redirecting to YouTube. Okay, it's connected to YouTube. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Vijaya
Vidya.
madam, you can
Done.
make me the co-host.
Yeah, hello Mukund. Yeah, it's connected. It's live on YouTube.
You can
So
make
just
me
give
the
me a
co-host.
minute. I will make you the
Yeah.
host and Radhakrishnanji also. Done, Mukund. You can mute the participant and then start participants and give Radhakrishnanji the option to unmute.
Mute and mute here.
Okay. Radhakrishnan sir, you're there. You can come on video. Yes. Namaste, sir. Yes. We are good to go. Just be wherever you are with your spine upright. Just take in 1 or 2 breaths consciously. We'll chant an Omkara followed by the Shanti mantra. Put your palms together. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Good evening. Namaste to one and all. So, I once again welcome you all to this Samarpana series where we are having Shastriji's associates, those who have been associated with him, coming together and trying to get some insights into Shastriji, his ideas, his thoughts, and also through his own students and associates. So, which makes it more direct and authentic. So, let me start by introducing our guest speaker for today, Sri Garani Radhakrishnan. So, Sri Radhakrishnan is basically an engineer by profession and he is a man of scientific temperament. He is a alumni of Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. He did his graduation way back in the 1960s and he has worn many hats as an engineer in the teaching profession, as an entrepreneur and consultant. So being a science student, he never actually accepted traditional practices as as it is. And even though he had an ultra orthodox family culture, his yearning and seeking for spiritual truth found its resonance in Shastriji's expositions. Even though he has not been directly associated with Shastriji, he has been profoundly influenced by Shastriji's talks and ideas. Garaniji actually took up the arduous task of compiling Shastriji's talks collected from his students world over and which finally culminated in the release of the Let Go book, And the ideas brought about in this book has since been read and reread by thousands of people, and it has helped many to discover the meaning of Vedanta with a very unique perspective. Sri Garani Radhakrishna is well past his mid 80s, but he continues to passionately research spiritual subjects and also spiritual personalities. He continues to compile books that can be understood by the present generation. Yoga Bharati is indeed happy to have Sri Garani Radhakrishnan to speak and share his wisdom on the topic, an overview of the various methods towards spiritual quest and the progress thereof. I now hand over to Sri Garani Radhakrishnan sir.
Good evening to everybody. Namaskar to all my brothers and sisters who are assembled here for listening to something which I am sure will lighten up their possibly heart and minds. So I would also start with a small prayer of only 3 lines, and I will chant. The others can mentally chant also. Only when I have to hear from you, I'll have to put on my headphone because of my limitation of the Shravanendriya. So let me start with the Om Asato Ma Sargamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from darkness to light. Lead me from unmanifest, manifest to the unmanifest. Lead me from death to eternity. Om, peace, peace, peace. These are called triple gems in our Vedantic philosophy. Now, we are trying to go from known to the unknown. We know we are living in a world, we are able to see everything around us, and now we are trying to find out whether we can know the unknowable. So knowing the unknowable is a very big paradox, because words cannot go there, only your mind can possibly go there. Now, when we say from knowable to unknown, let us now concentrate a little bit on knowing what do we see? We see around us the entire people around your house. This thing. Moment you look outside the window, you will see all pictures moving. Drik, drishya, both will be there, and then sounds are there. We hear a lot of sounds. This is what is called a dichotomy. That we are living in a dvaita. That is, there are two aspects of everything. That is, we can see, we need not see. So, like that, for everything, sorrow, happiness, joy, and this thing, anger and jealousy, hatred, anger, all these things have a duplicate. If you cannot join one, rather you cannot separate one from the other, both are conjoined. If I say Satya, then if I ask you the question Satya, you will say what is not untrue is true. And then I'll ask you what is true, what is untrue, then you will say what is not true isn't. So one is dependent upon the other. So the interdependence is the basic principle of our existence itself. So the existence here in this world we cannot deny. So we have to go from not we to find out the unitary concept. We have to go from keep on saying not two, it is one, not two, it is one. It is a pretty conundrum actually. It's very difficult for us to So now let us start with a small parable as to what happens to us in our own story. This is a parable connected to a honeybee. So most of you know honeybee. As soon as the dawn breaks out, the honeybee will start moving from one flower to another flower, another flower to another flower. It goes on collecting honey from one flower to another flower, and then it does the job of a collector. And as the time progresses, as the dawn slowly comes to a close, it will fly into its own nest. But here there is a story where this bee got caught in a lotus flower. So I will just recite I will have to use a little bit of a Sanskrit word in between talking of the English word. Say, English communication is a father tongue for me. Sanskrit is a mother tongue for me. I will put it that way. So what is English has got a limitation. A lot of words we cannot express what in English, the Sanskrit words. Most of you should be able to probably grasp uh, the Sanskrit word and its meaning. So I will just recite that because any recitation in Sanskrit is always poetical. रात्रिर्गमिष्यति भविष्यति सुप्रभातम् भास्वान् उदिष्यति हसिष्यति पङ्कजश्रीः इत्थं विचिन्तयति कोशगते धीरेभे हन्त हन्त निलिलीं गजमुज्जहार. It means this honeybee, in its anxiety to go from flower to flower, flower to flower, the last flower, the bee sees a lotus, and it gets attracted to it, and it just gets into to just to take out the bee. At that time, the lotus flower closes. So it is become a problem. So it thinks, okay, I am caught up in this. Anyhow, the night will pass off somehow, and the day will definitely dawn. Bhaswan udishyati. That means the dawn will, sun will come up, and then the lotus will hasishyati pankajashrihi. The pankajashri means pankaj is a lotus will open, then I can fly away. So it was thinking like that. But in the midnight, what happened? An elephant came to the Sarovara for sipping water. It finds that this lotus is objecting. She picked it out and threw it off. So this parable is what we are going through. As the dawn opens, as soon as the dawn opens, we state, where is my bed coffee? I want bed coffee. Then from bed coffee, you start moving up. Then you start running around. Then in a hurry, you pick up whatever is there, whatever is not there. Then you keep on doing work. Then you go here and there, moving from one place to another place, another to place. Ultimately, you end up in the night so much fatigued, so the fatigue will put you to sleep. So think you are so happy thinking that you are sleeping without knowing that you may get up or you may not get up the next morning. So this is our situation. So we can also give this in a different interpretation. You see, waking is a janana. Once janana takes place, then balya, then yavana, then grahastha, then vrdhapya. So most of the people who are living in a religious way, rather I would like to use it for some time, but I would not like to touch on that point. They move from one phase to another phase, one phase to another phase, and jumping from one happiness to another happiness, they find sorrow again. They run back to this thing like this, moving. Ultimately, by the time they are about to beyond 60, when they retire, then they say, okay, this is my time, let me start learning Vedanta. So at that time, the time is so short that they will not be able to get a hold of that. That is why it is always advised that Vedanta should be started at a very young age, just to give them a cultural background of our Sanatana Dharma. See? So this Sanatana Dharma is the one which will keep everybody upright. You know? So when this happens, we have to think about the growth aspect in our children. In order for them to grow, we should give them viveka. They should understand the discriminating capacity of the brain. Now let us turn our attention to spirituality. You know, when Mukundji asked me to give some name for the topic, I was a little intrigued as to what to say, because I am trying to talk about something which is very difficult to express in words. Then somehow I like to offer a carrot, to attract the people. So I just put forward saying that different methods of sadhana. So these people will get attracted, so that they want to know what is the new thing. I want to learn that so that I can practice and I can become a big yogi or whatever you call. So this is a small trick possibly I played without my knowing. These words came out of my mouth without my own knowing. So now when you say spirituality, towards spirituality, I said in that process, the different methods towards spirituality and thereof. Spirituality can be cut into two words, spirit and actuality. That is truth and actuality. What is true and what is actual? See, this word true in truth in English is difficult to what is called the breakup, whereas in Sanskrit we say satya. When I say satya, it contains two words. It contains sat and tya. Sat is what is already there. Tya is whatever is not there. So it is a known and unknown. Both are mixed together. So it is again a dichotomy. See? So from this dichotomy, we have to go to actuality. What is actual and what is true? What is true need not be actual. What is actual will always be actual. It will never be. So this is where we come into this triad called Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is something which is always there. Chit is something which is a modified form of the Karya Rupa of, and then Ananda is bliss. That is existence, consciousness, and bliss. Existence, consciousness, and bliss are the three important triple gems. Similarly, Jnatru, Jnaya, Jnana, Jnatru, Jnana, Jnaya, Pramatra, Pramaya, Pramana. All these English, the words in Sanskrit which give you a direction towards where we have to go. So everybody wants bliss. Nobody wants dukkha. See, everybody wants happy. They want to be happy. They will always accept something if it is happy. They will not accept something which is unhappy for them. So this moving towards happiness, jumping towards happiness, you have to find out a methodology to do that. So when we talk about this movement of happiness, what is it that is stopping us from this happiness? There is something which is breaking us, because any happy moment will always put us into a sorrow. So at the time of happiness, it is you feel extremely happy when you put a good rasagulla in your mouth. Then when it goes down the throat, and then if it does not come out, then you feel miserable. Then you go to a doctor, take the medicine, and then you put it out. See, so this is where the difficulty. The sorrow starts there. See? So any happy, you think that you are so happy, enjoyed the sweet, but ultimately you get into. But This is a single instance. In our life, what happens from morning to night, we always touch the Swarupa. We always touch the a non-doing state. Supposing, say, I am a thinker. Do I always think 24 hours? Am I a thinker 24 hours? Or I am a doer 24 hours? There are moments of time in our life, any number of times where we are in the non-thinking state. That is called non-doing state also. So this non-doing state is the one which keeps us alive and keeps us happy, because otherwise, if you are continuously doing from morning to night, you will be fatigued and you will fall down. See? So this is the biggest uh, what is called the benefit that is given to this situation in our body, so that you are able to enjoy the good moments, you are able to discard the bad moments, whatever you think. One man's suffering can be, supposing he don't suffer, the doctor will never get his bill. The doctor will not get benefited. So my suffering is a benefit for happiness for somebody else. So this is the situation in which now Taittiriya Upanishad goes to the extent of saying that if we are not enjoying this state of happiness, or what is called the dukkha, in alternate moments, person would not have even think of breathing. He doesn't even want to breathe if he is not able to get moments of rest. So, no, this this is called the state of happiness. Is what we keeps the Brahma Sukha. State of happiness is the Brahma Sukha. So this Brahma Sukha, if it is not there, nobody would like to even do the process of pranayama, whatever. They will not come to Yoga Bharati. So what I'm trying to say is, so this is the most fundamental aspect of the whole situation. Now here, when we talk about this, we have to find out something in our life when we are going through the prism. Something is obstructing us. What is it that is obstructing? There is something which obstructs. So this is the one which Yamadharmaraja told Nachiketa in the Kathopanishad. He opens the, when he finishes the basic Brahma Vidya, he says, Paranchakani Vartanat Sambhuhu Paran Pashyati na Antaratman Kaschit Dhiraha Pratyagatman Aikshata Avarta Chakshuhu Amrtatvam Icchan. So we are structured in such a way that all our activities go outward. Our indriyas, we have pancha indriyas, that is eyes, ears, nose, throat, and then tongue. They all go outward. They don't go inwards, because it is structured like that so that it draws you outward to see the external phenomenon. So this external phenomenon, somebody has to, everyone doesn't accept this, because you have to be a dhira. That means you have to be a brave man to get into the avarta chakshuku. That means you must go inward. You must turn your eyes inward. Amrtatvam ichan. Why should you turn your eye inside? To see that immortality, to reach towards the immortality. So here what happens is we have to go a little bit fundamental. Man is structured how a man or woman or the entire living being in this whole cosmos. Rather, I'm sorry, in the whole Jagat, Jagat is a thing which is awake, In this Jagat, there are four elements which are most important for survival. One is Ahara, Bhaya, Nidra, and Maithuna. Ahara, Bhaya, Nidra, Maithuna. These are the most fundamental things in which creation works. The body, which is to be created out of the Panchadhatus, is inert. It is Jada. So unless you give some food to the body, it will never become active. So it moves from hunger to satiation. So he feels hungry. So we have to feed it to see that the energy is built up in the body for movement. Then there is what is called the survival. How does survival take place? That is the fittest of the survivors was the oldest this thing. In olden primitive period, it was what is called the jivo jivasya jivanam. The life of one is depending upon the life, the other annihilation of the other. So a bigger, a stronger one will overcome the weaker one by eliminating. That means supposing you take a dog will capture a cat will capture a mouse will capture, like this, the weaker one always succumbs to the. So here, this particular way in the developed stage of a human being has got the biggest advantage of one more center that is not available in the what is called the pranis and even inanimate thing, is the thinking capacity. That thinking, we are able to discriminate whether to do it or not do it. See? So ultimately, we come to this point of bhaya. That bhaya continuously works in us because our brain structure is built over the animal brain. It is superimposed on the animal brain. So the base is the animal brain. So most of the time we also behave in animal way. You see, we so that is the basic problem. So only when you apply discretion, then you know whether to do it or not do it, or that or again the dichotomy also starts working there. So then the next one is reproduction. So in order to keep the progeny, you have to do what is called the kriya of combining the two into one. See, that is the male and female have to join together to procreate. So it is called mammal. We are all called mom. The word mama has come from that. Mama means the the organ which is able to feed the suckling this thing. So if you, for only all primates and all, right from say a little bit, if you go to the cow and other things, this takes place by the mother to the giving food to the child. The life starts like that only until the mother gets separated from the child, and child learns on its own how to feed itself. So this system of movement of the is based upon. That is why a mother, she is called the mother because he is the origin. She is the origin of the whole this thing. Now, at that point of time, I try to slightly deviate a little bit um, about possibly what we know. See, now here when we go to the olden days of Vedic culture, when we come to the Vedic culture, Vedas are called Shruti. Shruti means it was heard. It was about. It was not remembered by somebody and written down. It is not written down. It is passed down from one Shrotru to another, one person to another person over a period of time. It was only done by rishis who were in very deep meditation. They could only see and hear, and then whatever they heard, they shifted this thing to the next generation, to the Guru Shishya Parampara. That is how it went on in the process. So in this Guru Shishya Parampara, next comes the Smriti. In Smriti, we get what is called the Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all these become Shrutis, Purana, etc. So Smriti becomes more important for us because somebody has put down whatever they have heard to some extent. Here, the most important and possibly the most adored by me is the Bhagavad Gita. See, just as my master Shastri ji used to say that he has read Yoga Vasishta 100 times. I have also read Bhagavad Gita at least about 50 times or 100 times. In this particularly, I have read more of the Bhagavad Gita rendering by Vinoba Bhave. Most of you might have heard about Vinoba Bhave. Vinoba Bhave was a Bodha. He was known for the Bodhan movement in our olden days. So he was to get the independence from the colonial rule. They had all put all these satyagrahis, they were called. They were all put in the Erwada jail. So in Erwada jail, when he was there for 18 Sundays, every Sunday he covered one chapter of the Bhagavad Gita without all this rumbling of Sanskrit words and all that, simple one with a lot of what is called explanation, etc. So it is extremely simple and very good, and his explanations are so very nice that it can attract anybody, even a person who doesn't know Sanskrit can comfortably read it. This Bhagavad Gita, written rather by narrated by our in Marathi, has been translated into all the at that time it only 15 approved Indian languages were there. So they have today it has been not only uh, translated, it has been translated to Russian also. You see, yesterday, our Prime Minister gave one copy of the Bhagavad Gita translated in Russian to Vladimir Putin. So, foreign millions and millions of copies have been sold. And this is an extraordinary book which I would personally prefer, every one of you to. In Kannada, it is called Gita Pravachana. In English, it is called Talks on the Gita. In Tamil, it is called Geetai Peruraigal. See, like this, in every language it is available. In called vinobabhave.in. If you go to a website called vinobabhave.in, you will get it. You can download it and you can read it. You get the hard copy. Nowadays, the original copy which was published not available, but is available uh, through so many sources. If you are interested in a hard copy, you can go for the hard copy. So this is one point. Now, I will like to move a little from so there we have plenty of saints and sadhus who are living with us. We can learn so many things from them. So many of them are even today. Sir M. You might have heard about the person by name Sir M. He is called Mumtaz Ali. He is a Muslim by birth, but he is an extraordinary, he is an enlightened person. He lives in Madanapalli. He is taking care of his own ashram. People who are interested can go there. A lot of satsangs are connected. Like that, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta Maharaj, Jai Krishnamurti. These people are all very great people who lived among us, who gave they gave one point solution to everybody. Especially Ramana Maharshi said, "You simply sit quiet. Shumma ukkara." He said, "Just sit quiet. Do not unnecessarily rattle your head." So the biggest problem has to start from mind. This mind is the one which is moving from place to place. So that is how you have to control the mind. See, ultimately now we come to a point of when somebody asks what is mind, the reply would be no mind, don't mind. When you say don't mind, that means if you start minding the mind, it becomes a bigger problem. So you should avoid instead of mind taking over your control, you have to, the buddhi that has been given to you as one of the antahkarana, you have to ride over the mind rather than the mind allowing you to ride over. So here we hear a story of Yajnavalkya in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So many of you might have already known about this. Yajnavalkya was in the court of Janaka. He amassed a huge amount of money, and he had two wives. One was Maitreyi, another was Katyayani. Katyayani was a Sitaprajna by herself. That means it made no difference to her whether money is there, money is not there. She said, okay, I go. Then he said, then the other one was Maitreyi. Then Yajnavalkya said, I am going to divide the entire property, whatever I have, to both of you, and I am going away to a forest for my own Nidhityasana. Then Maitreyi, this Katyayani said, okay, no problem, whatever you want you do. While Maitreyi said, okay, you are going to forest for some purpose. Now you are leaving all the money. Can you guarantee me that whatever money you give me can give me eternal happiness? So Yajnavalkya was he had lot of uh, attraction towards rather Maitreyi, so he liked it. He said, if you want to really know the truth, vittena na asti. Okay. You cannot get liberation with money. Any amount of money cannot give you that liberation. Then she said, all right, if you say that any amount of money doesn't give me happiness, I don't want your money. You tell me, what is it that makes happiness? Then he gives a famous statement called Shrotavyo Manthavyo Nidhityasitavyaha. You have to see first, you have to listen, you have to do manana, and then you do nidhityasana. So these are two very, very important aspects for, and then she explains how the entire structure of the human being is connected on a selfish basis. Selfish, when you say, the problem is, supposing you take areva patnihu patim priyam bhavati. That means a woman gets attracted to the man. Woman loves his pati not because of satisfying the pati. It is for her own good. Her own selfishness, she loves the man. She will not love the man for the sake of returning the love from the pati. So that means similarly, a pati also will get attached to the woman only if the patni serves him to the extent what he wants. The day the patni is not interested in serving him, he will say, he will feel this thing about it. So this has been very similarly. He says Vedas are doing the prachara for its own sake, everything, and then he ultimately said, um, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is for your own selfish interest, everything becomes attractive. If there was no selfish interest, you will never get attracted to something. So you will get attracted to something only when there is a what is called the happiness that is deriving out of that. So this has been extremely nicely given by our Shankaracharya in his Bhajagovindam. Gatavati Gatavati Vayau Asmin Dehe Bharya Bhibrati Tasmin Dehe. If the prana of the husband goes away and then he lies in the state of a dead body, even the wife who was so much attracted to him, he was loving him, he was caressing him, he was hugging him, he immediately says, please take it away. I can't stand. I can't. So even she doesn't like to unite with a dead body. See? So this is our the lesson from what we learn is we have to if we have to move in the progress of seeking, we have to first do Shravana, then we have to do Manana, then we have to do Nididhyasana. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana is very, very important for us in our life. So now here, now I would just like to then how do we do this Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana? It is very easy to say, okay, you read the book, you do Manana, you Manana, all that. How long you can do Manana? Is there a limit? So our Upanishads also says, Uttishtata, Jagrata, Prapyavaran Nibhodata, Kshurasya Dhara, Nishita Duratyaya, Durgah Patastat Kavayo Vadanti. He says, awake, arise, and you go to a guru who can help you to and take lesson from him, learn from him, because this path of approaching to the unknown is very durkam. That is very difficult because it is like a sword. It is like you're walking on a sword where you have to bleed, where you are going to cut, you have to repair, you have to keep on doing that. So, like this, all people who are kavayo, that means all knowing people who are already in knowledge about this, they say that this path is very difficult, you have to learn. Then the problem comes in, okay, which guru I have to go? Then you go on searching from one guru to another guru, there is no end for that. Then when you want to what is called walk on the path, somebody has to show you the path, or somebody should walk along with you. So at this point of time, we have to remember one person called Someshwara, who was actually called Palkurike Somanatha. He was living in Andhra Pradesh, later on came and settled down in Karnataka, in North Karnataka. He has written what is called 100 verses for how to live in this world. That is called Someshwara Shataka. In that Shataka, the very first this thing is says, Kelavam, I'll recite in Kannada, I will try to explain in English. Kelavam Ballavarinda Kaltu. We have to learn something from people who know about it. Kelavam Shastragalim Pedutam. That means we have to study, do adhyayana of some shastras and learn something. Kelavam Malpavarinda Kandu. That means you try to imitate somebody who is already in the path. He knows something about the path. You just follow that man. Kelavam Sujnanadim Nodatam. That means use your own description, use your own mental capability, use your own discretion to know something more. Then Kelavam Sajjana Sangati. That means you go with people who are walking on the same path. When you do all this, it is something like all small tributaries joining into a river, and the river flows. Then you will start flowing along with the river and ultimately join the samudra. That means you will go from the known to the unknown. See, this is what we are supposed to do. Now, somebody says, okay, I can't go on searching for fellows who know it. I think so. At that time, what happens is you have to sit on your own and then find out what is all this, what is it that is bothering me. You have to start doing self-analysis. The self-analysis starts from your own basic that is, we have to see, if you say I am the body, are you the body? If you are not the body. When I say my shirt, my pant, my dress, my neighbor, that means they are all not your body. Your body is a jada. So what is it that is, our body is constituted by 5 things, that is Akasha, Vayu, that is then other uh, Apaha, Prithvi, and Tejas. So from Akasha, Vayu has come, from Vayu, Agni has come, from Agni, Apa has come, Apa to Prithvi, from Prithivya Moshadaya. That means from Prithvi you get all these uh, trees and plants and all that. Oshadibhyo Annam, from Oshadi you get Anna, from Annata Purushataha. From Anna it becomes a Purusha. So this Purusha is a fellow who is sitting inside the your Pure Vasati iti Purusha, a fellow who is staying in the body. So he requires some energy for moving. So Anna is the most important. So start from the Annamaya Sharira. Then I do not want to go deep into what all this Panchakosha, Viveka, Avastatraya, etc., etc. We will, for the time being, allow people to. Now, let us do a little bit of introspection in terms of, there are different prakriyas that help us from. One is called Stula Sukshma Prakriya, Avasthatraya Prakriya, Panchakosha Viveka, and all these things, So let us, we will draft our own Prakriya. We can form our own Prakriya. So what is it? Let us start saying that I am a thinker. Am I a thinker? I am angry. I am active. I am inactive. So I have a phase of non-doing as well as a phase of doing. As a phase of doing. So this phase of non-doing, you touch. How do you touch? I already explained earlier that the phase of non-doing, if we were not able to alternate between the phase of doing and non-doing, we will not be able to even enjoy living. So you take the example of what is called some prop which gives you that happiness. Say like our Shastriji's coffee example. When you take a sip of coffee, when you are given a hot sip of coffee, you are enjoying the coffee. Observe what has happened to your mind. The mind is completely involved in the enjoyment of the, the happiness that gives out of the coffee, and your mind totally becomes inactive. It doesn't even think. It will lose its capacity of thinking. It is incapacitated to think. So that moment is a very, very fine moment. Similarly, when you have a sweet, or when you have something, when you eat ice cream, all these things happen with the help of a vastu. Now, if you do this, suppose, okay, I am able to get this state of what is called the quietness without. I can drink 20 cups of coffee a day. That you cannot do, because your tongue loses its capability to absorb that. See? A lot of energy is developed in some other center, and pressure builds up, and you start refusing. So similarly, supposing you go to somebody's house and they offer you sweet, say one laddu. One laddu is okay, you can eat and be happy. Second laddu, oh, you tell the host, Papa, I am already full. Then they will push you. Okay, I got it. Third laddu says, I'm sorry, I cannot. Why? What happens? In the This is called, you are building up a lot of energy by consuming a food, and this energy has no outlet. So because this energy has no outlet to go, it starts from the Muladhara, that from the base. All this energy conservation is at the base of the body. Of course, that is a different, again, topic which I will not go deep into it. And then it moves up to the center of the, that is called Agnya Chakra. Agnya Chakra is the one which is in the center between the eyebrows. So there is a lot of pressure built up in that chakra, that then you have to get out of this. That pressure has to be released either by talking or by walking or by listening to some music, like that. There are different centers, you go on releasing the energy that is concentrated, so that you get back to a what is called a quiet state. This is exactly what happens when we sit for meditation. See, when you sit for meditation, you will not be able to even meditate even for 2 minutes, because your body makes you get up. Then a sort of boredom sets in. Actually, this pressure at the Ajna Chakra is also called a boredom center. This Ajna Chakra becomes a boredom center because too much of pressure. Boredom is nothing but built up pressure. This built up pressure has to be released. So you have to get up. If you are doing meditation, you should never feel bad about it. Okay, get up, walk about 50 or 60 steps, again come back and sit. You see? So like this, you have to keep on manipulating to bring a status of samadhana. So now that we know that this ananda we get out of either taking the sweet or coffee, if it can be done without the without laddu or without coffee or without ice cream, then you're gone one step ahead in your practice. So this is how we have to keep on bringing the mind to a level where you can come to a what is called the quickness or the fastness of the mind has to be brought down by Naidhanya. That is, whatever when we speak about speed and restriction and happiness, this is not attached to the body, it is attached to the mind. See, it is only the mind that is doing all this mischief of you are pushing you and pulling you and all that. So this speed and focusing, you see, because of the focusing and speed, will put you into a constricted. Uh, so you have to the how do you do this? Naidhanya and Vistarata. You have to go from the constraint to the what is called the expanded state. See, that expanded state. Supposing you are operating in a huge shell, it is you can do a lot of physical work. You can do plenty of physical work as long as you keep your mind in a calm state without disturbance, without distraction or pressure. If you apply the same pressure to both mind and body, you will land up into a lot of trouble. See, so this Naidhanya and Vistarata, speed and focusing, Naidhanya, this is all Vedanta. That's all. Vedanta is not. It is beyond this. What is called these four items. So Vedanta, you don't have to struggle running around reading books, struggling again, devouring of 100 books or 1,000 books, etc. You have to bring down the unruly forces. You have to tame them, tame the ruly forces into a level where you are able to get what is called the calmness of mind. The mind has to become calm only by what is called your own self-analysis, your own methodology of telling you have to advise your own mind to calm down. See, so this is for this what happens in our what's called that is, right, and then there is one more thing also we have to think. This energy, I spoken about till energy shift mechanism. Then there is one dharma called Svabhava dharma, Agantaka dharma. See, rice, rather Agni, by its own nature, it is hot. You cannot separate Agni from the heat. Moment you say Agni, it is hot. Supposing you say milk, milk is always white. You don't get a black milk. Only you may color it and make it rose milk or whatever it is. That means you are adding something. And so it is a Swabhava dharma of Agni or even So, whereas, what is my Swabhava Dharma? My thinking is not a Swabhava Dharma. It is a Agantuka Dharma. That is, it is an Aropita Dharma. That is, it is thrust upon me. How do you define that? See, I have a mental state. I can think. I need not think. I can turn my head left, I can turn my head right, I can look up, I look down. I need not look down also. I can close my eyes, I can open. So I have the flexibility of operation in all the 360 degrees about the activity of my mind. So this is Agantuka Dharma. If it is an Agantuka Dharma, it is always droppable. Swabhava Dharma, you cannot remove Agni from the heat. See, heat means Agni. So this, what is called organ, that is an aropita dharma. It is thrust upon you by circumstances, by your own indriyas. The indriyas will push you to go here and there and do this work, that work, and then you can always drop it. It's droppable. So this droppable is the most important thing, where you have to concentrate on what you can accept and what you can reject. See, here the discrimination capacity of the buddhi comes, So we have three methods, One is you can do all this by karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga. They have one more yoga, along with all the three, there is one yoga called yoga of action. And that yoga means action. That means you have to move towards the. So these are three different modes of operation given to us to suit to our convenience. So we can. Somebody is very happy doing the work. He is extremely. He wants to get credit. He does what is called social service. He does all sorts of external work. He goes and pleases everybody. He tends to a sick lady wherever, whosoever it is. So that is as long as he is doing that work, if he is not what is called attaching himself to the fruits of that work, that means, oh, I am doing this work of helping sick somebody, then somebody should give me so much money. When somebody says like that, then you are automatically out of. So then you are selfish active. So it's a selfless attitude. It's called nishkama karma. See, nishkama karma becomes a problem. So then when you go to the bhakti is another mode of transport where you do uh, sharanagati. That is, you're offering everything at the feet of the Lord and tell him, oh, I have left all my burden on your head. All my left on your head. So it is for you to take care of me or not take care of me. And the third one is the vichara marga. Vichara marga means you think about it. You just see what is right, what is wrong, right action, wrong action. And here all sorts of the three combinations of this thing takes place. Have I crossed the time? I don't know. I must.
Radhakrishnan sir,
Can
actually,
I?
we are on time. Only thing,
Once.
if you can close, we can
Pardon?
take some questions also from the participants.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what.
exactly what I thought. So I do not know because there is so much to talk, but there is so little time to talk. Anyway, I never looked up the time. Um, so let us take some questions. No problem.
Yeah, so first of all, Radhakrishnan sir, thank you for so much of wide range of topics that you have touched upon, and especially most of them we could relate it to the Shastriji's connect here. And of course, you have added your own experiences and your own thoughts and ideas you have intertwined with what Shastriji has told. So, with this, all the inputs that you have given, if we can have some questions from the participants, we can take that up.
Yeah, I will try my best to solve to the extent that
Yeah.
my capacity of hearing as well as my knowledge goes through.
Yeah.
No problem.
So kindly you can unmute yourself and ask any question if you have. or rather, I would start the thing. So Radhakrishnan sir, what I want to ask you is, uh, which marga or which particular route you found most useful and which you could easily adopt? That is part one of the question. And part two is, if we have to find that out for ourselves, what do you suggest for that?
No, there's see, every person in his life goes through different stages. It depends upon when you start, and what are the circumstances which push you to start that type of get uh, get into the what is called inquiry. So getting to the inquiry, uh, I personally, right from my beginning days, I always followed the Nirguna route, Nirguna. That is a path which has no attributes, attribute-less path called Vichara Marga, because basically I am a scientist. A scientist always, unless the truth is clearly right in front of him, he is able to see it, he will not accept it. Any acceptance comes only, then what happens is bhakti and karma will add to that, but bhakti and karma will give manah prashavanopaya. That is, it will calm your mind, but it will not take you to that level. That's what I personally feel. Uh, so, if you want to reach to a calm state, first you have to control the outgoing forces. Then you have to come back to a state wherever you are comfortable. Supposing you are doing a lot of teaching work and your social service, then you take up to that marga itself. Any marga, see, any marga will ultimately take you to that. So the most important thing is you have to keep in mind that whatever path you are treading, you set a goal, but don't say, "Oh, I will." As I live in this life itself, I want to go to moksha. This moksha is the relief from bandhana. From bandhana, you are getting into what is called going out of the clutches of this samsara. So when you have to go out of the clutches, whichever in a circumstance where you are placed, there are so many things which you cannot avoid. So being in that situation itself, you have to what is called find out a way for yourself. Each person has to find out his own way. There are some people who say, okay, no, I'll put all the. So there is one small anecdote I'll try to tell you. There is one pravachanakara, purohita, rather the pravachanakara was talking. He started saying Mahabharamu. Then the fellow who was sitting on the front row said, Arera, I lost Ta. Ta is gone. Then this fellow got immediately he could sense that there is something mistake he has done. Then he said, Adi Parvatamu. He said. So instead of saying Adi Parvamu, he said, so that fellow said, oh, I got back my thought. So this is how you have to bring down your bhara. You, instead of putting it on the shoulder of somebody else and then sit and enjoy, you say, oh, I already surrendered. I have done Sharanagati. One person continuously tells me even today, I have done Sharanagati, sir. Every day I am doing Sharanagati. So what is this Sharanagati? See, that is Gati hi pranaha. That is what the Upanishad says. Any movement is prana. See, a non-movement is only what is called, you have to surrender yourself in the sense, in a true spirit. That unless you surrender yourself completely, then you are not able to. So it is something like, a phase of nidra. In nidra, there is a still bija rupa. There is a small hanging around so that you awake. You get up. Otherwise, you will not be able to get up also, unless there is no mind, there is no body, there is no thinking capacity, there is no dreaming stage. Nothing is there in your nidra. So nidra phase is supposed to be the best phase. Nidra phase is praised by everybody, but Nidra phase has a small dot hiding inside. That dot is the one which is responsible for all your, it will push you back into the situation. You see, unfortunately, I have no time. This time constraint puts me off into. So what we have to do is, shall I, should I
No,
proceed?
what I would suggest is, since we are already beyond the time,
Yeah.
maybe one more question from some other participant
Yeah,
will pick up.
welcome, welcome.
Then you can conclude it. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Actually,
Yeah.
Mukunji,
Yeah.
namaste,
Yes.
Radhakrishnanji.
So nice, so nice.
I see that Radhakrishnanji is very sadhana was writing that book of Let Go.
Yeah.
I'm not able to let go the let go.
He has digested the whole thing. That is the most wonderful thing. And so that today we are hearing the talk from him, that
Yeah.
itself is a wonderful
That's
thing.
right, that's right.
Wonderful compliment.
Yeah.
Right.
So nice, so nice to
So,
hear.
any parting words you can tell Radhakrishnan sir?
I will just read one thing, what Upanishad says, how you should get over this, you know. He says, Yachen Vang Manasi Prajnaha Tadyachet Jnanagatmani Jnanagatmani Mahati Tadyachet Shantagatmani. These are the four important steps. You have to surrender your walk into the mind and surrender the mind into buddhi and surrender the buddhi into Mahatattva, and then from Mahatattva you go to silence. The biggest important point that we have to see here is how we go to silence. You know, silence is the thing which will give you everything. Silence is not a zero. That is where the problem. So zero is there, but zero exists. Zero is the most important fundamental thing that our Sanatana Dharma is invented.
Yeah.
So try to become zero. Don't become a hero.
Thank you,
Thank you
Radhakrishnan sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So nicely you have given the parting message that is going into silence. So let us all
You should.
conclude today's session. Once again, thank you so much for all your
You are
efforts.
most welcome. What I have done is a very small. Our Guruji is sitting there, so
Yes.
happy to see him. I'm so happy that he is Guruji's Guru. Now he is in fact. I
He
would
has
put it
taken
that
up
way.
he has taken up
Okay.
Shastriji's mantle or that
Yeah.
stamba or the
Yeah.
whatever the mantle he has been taken over by him. So we
Yes.
are all very fortunate. Thank you, one and all who have come to today's session. It was quite a wide variety of topics that we got. And thanks, Karani sir, once again. So let us all conclude with the Shanti Mantra. ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. We'll meet again next month.